Listen, you guys, stop getting on my tits with this. Jesus. Thanks for rectifying me. Jesus. Zizi.
The story of my life remains written on these pages. My fate has always been my own. Every deed, every choice, and every person I met made me what I am. Could I have really taken a different path? Found a different calling? Altered the very course of history? And what price would I have to pay?
That's just a good set of options and settings. I mean, who would want any more than that? Right, new game. Sir Mahina Bronte, there we go. Choose your name carefully. Other characters will address you exactly like this. It's fine, don't worry. Consequences. You see possible choices in advance. Choose this option if you want to discover the results of your decision, only if you have taken it. Well, let's play Iron Man. Let's go. Before you lies the story of a single man, you will take on the role of Sir Bronte and determine his goal and fate in life from his birth to his true death. Our hero is unfortunate enough to be born in a cruel and ruthless world, one that is different from ours in many ways that may not be immediately apparent. This means that you must be ready to learn the ways of this world one step at a time. Your every decision will affect your hero's personality and family, his friends and foes, and even the outcome of important events. The decisions you make will ultimately influence the state of affairs throughout the nation. When given a choice, choose whatever feels right for the world and for yourself. How will you live the life entrusted into your care? Will Sir Bronte turn the tide of history, or will he be ground into dust by the millstone of fate? Well, I go with the millstone option, if that's a thing. Is this voiced? Of course not. At the end of time, your fingers are strained with ink, your breathing grows wretched, your hands are shaking, yet the words begin appearing on the page before you one by one, clinging together to form a chronicle of your own life. Who are you, and how did you reach this end? You're at the end already? I didn't even make a choice yet, that went quick. You were born, raised, and lived your entire life in the blessed Archnean Empire. In this land, a man's destiny is determined at the moment of his birth, whether human or Archnean, nobleman, priest, or low-born commoner, all bent to the divine will of the twin gods. And each life is naught but a single cog in the universe, this immeasurable machine. The memories come plodding back. They engulf you as a merciless wave, binding together days that are thrice dead and gone. The dreams of your childhood, your adolescence, your youth spent in the capital, years of peace teeming with life, and a war drenched in blood. High ranks and lowly deeds, opulent palaces, secretive city backstreets, fields of battle and faces, so many faces of the people you held dear, the people who walked this road by your side. This is a book or a game? Such was your life, now all exposed by ink, erupting onto the page. With your every step you sought to change the world as you saw fit. The choices of your upbringing, the path you carved in your youth, the fruits of your struggle, the consequences of your sacrifice, all of it led you to here, to the end of your time. And every choice had a price. Now years and years later, the crossroads of your life echo in your memory. The pain and joy inextricably intermingled. Could you have taken a different path, chosen a different calling, found a different place in the world? You had the power to alter the very course of history. Now, on the verge of death, you struggle with doubt, seeking answers to the last and most crucial question of all. Your life, of all the paths in life, why did you walk this one? Did you choose your own fate, or was your life shaped by forces beyond your control? What determines a man's destiny? Okay, now we go to get to choose something. To choose something, maybe, too. Right, There is no destiny. Destiny does not exist. Human life is an exercise in chance. It's not governed by any laws. You stand tall and stare death in the face, unflinching. There was no higher power guiding your life. It was just a wild chick, a chaotic tangle of innumerable human wills, actions and accidents. The only thing that you could ever turn this chaos into an orderly narrative is the eternal human drive for storytelling. Your life had no greater meaning. You were neither cursed by fate nor guided by providence. And this is what made you truly free. But are you right about this? Is it all true? To learn the truth, you will have to return to the very beginning, remembering every step you took along the way. On these pages, the story of a man named Mahina Brante. Yes, will live once more. Guys, don't leave just yet. Just wait for it. Right, childhood. My most favorite part. Oh, it is really like this. Chapter 1, Childhood. Childhood, where life begins. First words, first unsteady steps. You are but a small child, learning about the world in which you were born. To you, everything is so new, so baffling and so unforgiving. A long, trying life stretches before you. So many feats and faults, so many fateful choices to make. To come. Yet you are already sowing the seeds of your future self. You are learning to live and survive in this world, looking for a place within it to call your own, choosing your future destiny. Who will you grow up to be? I play with ants? Oh shit. No, we go beyond, obviously. Suffer your first death. As a small child, you suffer your first death and rebirth. I'm gonna click this. Oh, I can't do anything. What is this? Is that all what happens? Important life events that may happen to you in this chapter. But if I die in this chapter, that's it, isn't it? Your personal qualities at this age, they determine which choices you make. Okay, I can't do anything. Okay, determination represents your perseverance and strength of character, your ability to get your way. It affects your frame of mind and the skills you have when you grow up. Perception represents how attentive you are to other people and the world around you. Your ability to comprehend and learn. It affects your frame of mind and the skills you have. Okay, they're all affecting my skills. Willpower represents your remaining inner strength and readiness for action. It is expended on difficult choices. Deaths. After suffering a lesser death, one is reborn. One who dies a true death faces the judgment of the twin gods. So what can I do? This section that opens this chapter. Destiny screen is now available. Personality. There's 5 chapters, okay. 0 years, lowborn. I have no idea what that is. Oh my god. Father is Robert and mother is Lydia. Okay. And I have a sister named Gloria. My name looks out of place. Begin chapter. I have no idea how much chapters are available in this demo zone. At first, there was nothing. No time, no sensation, nothing but darkness and void. But then a will breathed life into nothingness. Matter and spirit were set in motion. History began its march. It was your turn to enter this world. Your first memory, you're lying on your back, blinded by a bright white light. You're not alone. Above you tower the colossal figures of those who created you. You are a part of them and they are a part of you. Between you and them is an inexplicable connection, a strong, unbreakable link. They will always watch over you, guard you, and protect you. It hurts to breathe. You let out the pain in the form of a desperate scream. Your creators extend their hands towards you. There are 2 of them, the ones who made you your form from their own selves and brought you into this world. They're united, yet as they lean closer, you begin to see how different they are. You can already feel the differences within you struggling against each other. The first figure is soft and empathic, wise and merciful. The love that emanates from it wraps you head to toe like an invisible blanket. The warmth from it is never ending. The second figure is strong and powerful, commanding and noble. It is harsh but fair and a beacon of guidance and a force of protection, a merciless punishment for every misdeed. Yet, there's also a third figure. It is like a shadow, barely seen behind them, yet already pulsing with an unbreakable will to live. It is the very will to live that is now growing even stronger within you. A soft, open palm, a strong, closed fist, a lingering, distant shadow. You struggle to loosen the swaddling clothes wrapped around you and extend a tiny hand into the world. You smile at the figure standing behind them. Your first smile appears on your face, awkward yet genuine. Your mother and father exchange looks and start talking. You know no words yet. So all you hear is a sequence of booming sounds. But the stranger behind them has no need for words. The stranger's look is all it takes for you to feel the will to live, an act that now burns within you. The shadow brings finger to its lips as of to say, there, baby, don't cry. This is our secret now. And then the shadow melts into the light. Your life in this world begins. How will you live it? Holy shit. So this is the entire game. I'm just making sure I got this right. As the days go by, you learn to tell your parents apart. You recognize father by his heavy breath and strong cold hands. He visits you rarely. Hello there, little Mahina Brunte. I should have picked a different name, for fuck's sake. Why? Mother's tender voice, however, follows you day and night. My, you're growing so quickly, my child. There are 2 more children in the family named Stefan and Gloria. Gloria sings songs to you. She often dresses you in tight clothing and gently holds your hands as you learn to take your first steps. Stefan likes to sweep you up and pinch you and toss you into the air. Oh look, this is your brother and sister. Yeah, you're my little brother, we're gonna play together, but I'll always be in charge, 'cause you were born a commoner. Be quiet, you, he doesn't understand yet. Come on, baby Mahina, let's go play in the yard. Holy shit. It is hot outside. You grip your brother's hand with one hand and your sister's with the another as they help you walk down the giant stone stairs. Then you sit on the ground and start exploring the sparse blades of grass with your fingers. It tickles. In the sky, far above and away from you, is a gigantic pillar, a perfectly straight stick made of light. It is so bright, it hurts to look at it. Why are you staring at the shining pillar? It is not going anywhere, you know. Hey, I want to play hide and seek. He is just a little baby. How is he gonna play? Then you hide him, and I will try to find both of you. You have no idea what they are talking about, but you support them with happy cooing. This is strange, but so exciting. Stefan and Gloria glare at each other. Then your brother walks to a big tree, closes his eyes, and starts shouting something. Gloria takes your hand and walks you through the yard. Your sister takes you behind some thick bushes by a tall wall. The light from the light stick on the horizon barely reaches here. You can't see home from this place. The ground is crawling with tiny black bugs. Gloria sits you down on the ground and puts a finger to her mouth for some reason, and then she's gone. You can no longer hear Stefan's voice. Gloria is nowhere to be seen. You feel colder. The bugs are no fun to play with. You have been sitting here a long time, completely alone. Nobody checks on you. Did they forget about you? Did they abandon you? You get up off the ground and start crawling around the bushes to find your way back home. You get up on your feet, swaying a little bit. Carefully, you take a first step, then lose your balance and plop down on the ground again. But you are determined. You get up again and keep walking in the direction Gloria went. You walk out of the bushes and further towards the wall of the house, and then the most tender and gentle hands in the whole world embrace you and pick you up. Mother has found you. Hey, Grande. There you are. You lean on Mother's chest and hold onto her with your arms. You want her to know that you came here all by yourself without any help. She pats you on the head. Your brother and sister stand behind her, clearly feeling guilty. Gloria is in tears. Stefan is staring at his feet. You hug Mother tightly. She is here now. That's a long bloody childhood. How are you all, Grande? We're playing demos for now. We only get like this in another one because the other one was in Chinese and I didn't understand a word. Okay, the Great Descent. Another memory. You are still a little child, but you can already talk and run around on your own. Today is out of the ordinary. Father is busy around the house, giving orders to the servants. Throughout the day, the kitchen has been abuzz with work, and there are solemn, gloomy preparations and candles being lit. Even your older brother Stefan is quiet today. Mother takes your hand and brings you to your sister Gloria. My son, today is the Great Descent. We honor the day when the twin gods descended to us. We must spend this day in reverence to the gods. You are too young to understand, so just do everything your sister says for now. Gloria takes you to the playroom. There are no toys there, no chairs. Even the carpet has been taken away. There's nothing there but a bare wooden floor. Today we are not allowed to go to any other rooms, and we will be eating nothing but gruel and stale bread. On the day of the great descent, everyone must be where they belong. It is quiet. Unusually so. Muffled voices from beyond the door are all you can hear. You are sitting on the cold floor, confused with no idea what to do. Then you hear your voice's sister, a lonely sound in the empty room. It's a little song that Mother taught her. You hold your breath as you listen to it. When the twins came down to earth, they brought lots for every birth. Let us count them, 1, 2, 3. The twins made them for you and me. Nobles rule and bravely fight. They protect us with their might. Priests work hard to understand, guide us by the twins' commands. Common people work and toil, always patient, never spoiled. Live your lot where you were born, to the day when you pass on. Know your lot and know the prayer, for the twins see everywhere. You're transfixed by the tune. Gloria notices your gaze and smiles creeps across her face. You like the rhyme, don't you, Mahina? Do you know what it's all about? Look, there are 3 lots. They were brought to us by the twins when they descended to us from the shining pillar. Remember that pillar of light on the horizon? That's it! You can see the shining pillar anytime from anywhere in the world. If you follow your lot as you live, you will reach the peak of the pillar, and if you don't, you will get eternal torment at the foot. You and I are lowborn. Mom is a commoner too. So the lot for you and me is to suffer and be patient and work hard, understand? The priests and the nobles have other lots. The nobles fight and rule over everybody. The priests, well, I'm not really sure what they do, but I guess they talk to the twins and then teach everybody. This is a weird game. Gloria stares at you intently. Did you get it, silly? Then she shakes her head and keeps singing the song over and over again. Her voice transfixes you, drawing you in. The room starts to glow like the sky. From this light emerge 2 figures you have known ever since the moment of your birth. One of them embraces your sister's shoulder, the other stands guard behind her back. You watch this happening before your very eyes, unable to turn away. Gloria is swaying to the song, unaware of what is happening. She sings the final verses once more. Know your lot and know your prayer. You feel compelled by this divine sight to express yourself somehow. You feel words condensing within you from the light. What will those words be? Well, we finished the song fucking properly, of course. Know your lot and know the prayer. Oh God. For the twins see everywhere. You sing the last line together with Gloria. Your sister looks up at you in surprise and gives you a nod. The shining pair standing behind her back turn to look at you. You can feel their gaze piercing you from top to bottom. When the moment passes, they melt into the dim light coming from the window. Gloria turns her head to look at you where you were staring. Did you see something? You shake your head. Not anymore. So we got some perception. Well, we are inattentive. What a surprise. You're starting to understand more and more of what the adults say. Your family is an unusual one. Your father is a nobleman, but not by birth. His is a title earned through great service, but your mother is a low-born woman, a commoner. Because of this, you were born a commoner, but father says you may yet come unto nobility. You learn to read at an early age. Together with mother, you read and learn by heart the many poems about the divine twins, the twin gods who reside upon the shining pillar. Mother calls these poems prayers. Again and again you try to discern the shapes of the gods in the strip of holy light that shines in the sky all day and night, but the light is too blinding to gaze upon. The greatest joy of all is when the stairs are no longer an insurmountable obstacle. Now you can climb and even jump from step to step. Father urges you to be more careful and avoid climbing too high. But even though you keep falling, you never stop being curious about the world around you. Your older brother Stefan now spends less and less time playing with Gloria and you. Playing with commoners is beneath a nobleman to be, he says. Gloria calls him names and Stefan pulls her pigtails. One fine evening, Father gathers you all in the sitting room with an announcement. You will have another little brother or sister soon. Gloria asks him to bring home a little sister. Another brother would be too much. Stefan gets frustrated. There are too many little siblings getting in his way already. Soon you will be an older brother too, and it doesn't really matter who the youngest will be, boy or girl, you will love them the most. When Father comes back from his trips, he reads his adult books aloud for you. You find those stories of wars and generals and rebellions enchanting. Your father approves of your fascination. Study hard and maybe one day you will become a noble of the mantle and earn your sword. But first, you need to grow up. Growing up. The concept is as terrifying as it is alluring. Oh God, my brother don't like me no more. Oh. I really wish that was voiced. Why is a story game like this not voiced? I don't get it. You keep staring at the lot of suffering. Keep staring at the carpet under your feet. You're both ashamed and proud, and it feels odd. A scratch on your hand stings a little. Stefan is standing next to you, sniffling from pain. Your brother was training in the yard with a wooden sword. You wanted to play with him, but he ended up getting angry and throwing the sword at you. The stick hit you in the shoulder. You picked it up and hit him with it. That's right, you show him. You see Mother's shoes walking to and from on the carpet. To and fro? You do not want to look up. You would rather not see her angry. She is not as gentle to you these days. Why did you hurt Stefan, Mahina? He's a douche. You stammer out an explanation. Hit you first. You just hit him back. How dare he pester me like that? When I grow up, I'm gonna hit you with a real sword. Mother shushes you both and speaks to you again. Her voice is stern, yet you can still feel her concern for you. Even if Stefan hits you, you cannot hit him back. You're my son and I was born a commoner. Our lot is to suffer. But your brother was born from a noble father and a noble mother. His sacrament is coming soon, and then he will rule over the likes of us. If you hurt a noble, you must be punished. That is your lot. And the sooner you learn it, the better off our entire family will be. Now Stefan looks at you in triumph. You look up at Mother in fear, not sure what to do now. I want a fucking explanation. You start asking questions. Why were you born a commoner if your father is a noble? If you have your father's name, why can't you have his lot? And why can't you choose a lot for yourself if you don't like the one you have? Mother is stunned by all the questions you are peppering her with. Don't you dare ask me about that, Mahina. I'll violate my lot if I start explaining it all to you. I'm a commoner, not a priest. You're flogged in front of your entire family. The pain burns on your skin again and again. Tears keep rolling down your cheeks. It feels like the punishment will never end. It hurts to walk when you are finally let go. You slowly climb the stairs and walk to your room. You see a book on your bed. The Teaching of Isatius, Volume 2. Your tears have dried now. You begin to read, slowly making your way through the difficult words. Every death of the body bringeth the soul closer to the twins' judgment. And when the body dieth a true death, the soul soareth to the shining pillars. The twin gods to judge every soul, and the judgment is stern and unforgiving. He who followeth his lot in life from birth shall melt in bliss atop the peak of the shining pillar. The words confuse and elude you, instilling fear and awe. You will read this mysterious book again and again as you grow up. Mother mostly stays in her chambers now. With each passing day she grows heavier and her features get rounder. It gets difficult for her to walk, but she still smiles all the time. One day she takes your hands and puts them on her big belly, and you feel a movement deep inside her. You will have another brother or sister soon. Gloria takes you on walks to the yard now. You explore the yard together under the evening light of the pillar, and she sings you songs and tells you amazing stories. Hey, Mahina, do you want to hear a rhyme? I wrote it myself. There's even a bit about you, but don't tell anyone, okay? Writing poems and songs only for nobles. If Mommy hears about it, I will get flogged. Remember how you flogged for hating Stefan? Our judge is my second father. In the past I had another. Mother says the twins are great, says we should not fight our fate. Brother loves to jump around, please don't fall down on the ground. See, I wrote a little rhyme, please don't tell them it is mine. But today your sister is nowhere to be seen. She promised to take you to the old pond and show you the red frogs that live there, but then she vanished. The servants join you in your search. Even Mother leaves her chambers when she hears the commotion. Finally you find Gloria in the far corner of the garden. She's holding a quill and sheets of paper covered in poetry. Mother becomes angry the moment she sees it. She looks through the poetry and her face grows dark with rage. Gloria is standing before her, wringing her hands and looking for an opportunity to run, but there seems to be no escape. What is this nonsense, Gloria? We talked about this. You were told to take care of your little brother. You are absolutely not allowed to entertain yourself with this writing. I can decide that for myself, Mom. No, you cannot. It has already been decided by the gods. And he is not a little brother anymore. He doesn't need a nanny. And I need some time alone to think for myself. I am not hurting anyone. You're a commoner and a future wife. It's time to learn how to properly care for children. Had your disgraceful former father kept me in his house, you could have been born a noble, but that is not our fate. And you are absolutely forbidden from ever spoiling paper and wasting ink again. Mother grabs Gloria firmly by the hand and takes you both into the house. The scribbled sheets fly into the fireplace. Gloria sobs violently. You are a bystander to the scene, unsure of how to act. Complain about your sister? Yeah, I don't know about that. We're comforting her. I mean, Gloria is nice. And then again, we could be a rebel. I'd be such a rebel. Let's go with the rebel offer. Offer to write rhymes with her. There we go. It's done! Mother leaves. The last of your sister's poetry burns away in the fireplace. You hug your sister and whisper to her. Let's go to the library, you say. The two of you can hide under the table and write something together. Gloria shakes her head violently. Mother said no, and there's no way she would ever defy her. You treasure her that it will be your secret. You pull Gloria to the library. She fights you, but you refuse to relent. You carefully peek inside. Your sister takes a small book from one of the shelves and you read it together under the table. It's a book of poetry about eternal love. Gloria clearly adores it. You decide to write a poem of your own. She recites a line in an ecstatic voice and you repeat it after her and offer a rhyme of your own. She nods happily. You do this until the day ends. You have written a poem of your own and learned it by heart, but not a single line of it has been committed to paper, which means that you stayed true to your mother's rule. Oh yes, bending rules as we go. Honey, we are born a rebel. Mother is in her armchair knitting woolen jackets, pants and socks for the little one. The baby will need to kept warm, she says. Father spends less time at home now. Mother says he's very busy with his important job. He's a judge after all. One day you decide to ask Mother about Stefan and Gloria. How come they are brother and sister to you but not siblings to each other? Well, my dear, I didn't give birth to Stefan, you see. He is the son of another mother and Gloria is the daughter of another father. Come now, don't knit your brow like that. You will understand when you are older. How is that even possible? You're all family, aren't you? Several days later, Mother calls Stefan and Gloria to the sitting room. You sneak in after them. At first, Mother gets angry and asks you to leave, but then she relents. You're told to sit still, be quiet, and remember every word you hear. When you enter the temple, bow to the twins. First to the elder on the right. Bow to the twins. First to the elder on the right, and then to the younger on the left. Stefan, you're a nobleman to be, so walk along the side paved with marble, where the benches are. Gloria, you walk along the sharp side. When you're there, you must get down on your knees, each on your own side. Stefan, kiss the sword. Gloria, my daughter, they will strike you with a lash. Don't be afraid of it. Resign yourself to the suffering it brings. It is the blessing of your lot. Gloria doesn't like the idea of the lash. There's a tense feeling in your chest as well. You were told to remember this. Will the lash strike you too one day? And the next day they take your brother and sister to the temple. You run towards them and when they finally come back. The back of Gloria's dress is soaked with blood. She's hunched a bit, sobbing quietly. Stefan is putting on airs, acting prouder than ever. Nothing else looks different about them. It's like everything's the same, and yet nothing is the same anymore. Each of them has accepted their lot. Oh my god, yeah, I don't like you too. Oh. Your siblings, Stefan and Gloria, took their first sacrament at the temple. The newborns cry. You eye the little bundle in your father's arms with curiosity. Behind the many layers of swaddling clothes is your newborn baby brother. Mother is glowing and smiling with joy. Stefan and Gloria are also here, all excited. You promise yourself you're going to be the best big brother in the world. You will never hit him. Oh no, the two of you will play together and tease Stefan together and help Mother together and go on so many adventures together. It feels so strange to be an older brother. Just the other day you were the youngest in the family, but everything is different now. Your parents name your little brother Nathan, and Mother spends all day and night by his side. And Nathan cries all the time, day and night. Mother barely gets any sleep. She is so worn out she starts forgetting things. Like today, for instance, she forgot her knitting in the armchair in the sitting room. You'd better bring it back to her as soon as possible. You run to your mother's bedroom. You miss her smile so much. You walk in without saying hello and give her the knitting, but instead of gratitude you get an ice-cold, exhausted stare. Nathan is also there, screaming all the time. Go away, Mahina, you're bothering me. She spits these words out through her teeth. You look at the bawling newborn. She can't even get a minute of respite. Enough already. When are you going to stop? I just want some peace and quiet. Mother leaps across the room and starts shaking Nathan with malice in her eyes. His cries get even louder. She looks so tired from his never-ending screams. She seems to be within an inch of smashing him against the wall. Somebody has to do something. You're scared of your mother right now, but you fear for Nathan's life much more. You try your best to bring her back to her senses. Mother keeps shaking Nathan violently, and you cannot stay away any longer. He is no longer bawling, he is shrieking. Just leave me alone! But then out comes your voice, so loud it drowns out her cries. No, it's not Nathan's fault, Mother. You are just tired. Please don't do anything to my little brother. If you have to punish somebody, punish me instead. He's too young, he won't understand. Your mother freezes and looks at you, her eyes two narrow slits. Her stare is cold and full of pure wrath, so pure you cannot help but recoil in fear. Are you trying to teach me how to take care of a child? Are you giving me lessons on calming a newborn baby? You are insolent, snacking know-it-all. It's time you learned your place. She puts Nathan on the bed sheets, then moves towards you. You step back, but a closed door blocks your way. She slaps you across the face. Your ears ring from the heavy blow and your cheek burns from her wrath. You wince and close your eyes, expecting a second slap, but nothing comes. Nothing but Mother's heavy breath and Nathan's shrill cries. And then there's a knock on the door. You step aside. Father walks in. He looks at you, clutching a reddened cheek, at the bawling baby, at Mother, her eyes red with raging tears, her breath heavy and wretched. Go to your room, son. I will join you soon. You do as you are told. Back in your room, you press your aching cheek against the cold window, hurt and dazed by what just happened. Soon enough, Nathan stops crying. You hear Father's heavy footsteps in the hallway. He comes into your room and sits on the bed next to you. Son, please do not be angry with your mother. The twins know she wishes nobody any harm. This is a difficult time for her, but we will make it through it as a family. You stepped up to protect your brother. You acted like a little nobleman today. I am proud of you. Your mother and Nathan are resting now. How bad does it hurt? You shake your head. Not bad, but your hand still aches to clutch the cheek. Father embraces you with a sorrowful smile and gingerly pats you on the head as you press your forehead into his housecoat. Things grow calm now. The trouble has passed and you are quietly happy. Your younger brother Nathan is born. Don't worry, you guys. This is just a demo, and this is just chapter 1. I just really wish, I guess it's just the childhood, I don't know how far the demo is. I just wish it would be voiced. Why is a story game like this not voiced with actors? So nobody's gonna stream that because nobody wants to read out shit. So this game is already doomed from the start if they don't add voice acting. Toy soldiers, you wake up to Father's touch on your shoulder. He is finally back home after a long trip. Mahina, today is your special day, the day when you begin your studies. Now teachers will be coming to our home to teach you, and you must do everything they say. Be diligent in your studies and you will grow closer to the nobleman's lot. And since you must remember this day, a present is in order. Lydia, get our little schoolboy dressed. I am taking him to the market district. Stefan wants to come with you too, but Father shushes him sternly. This is your day. Your elder brother is hurt to hear this, but stays quiet. An open carriage takes the two of you through the dusty, noisy city streets, a pleasant wind tussling your hair. Your city is called Anisot. That you already know. It is one of the largest cities in the entire empire. There's a big shadow in the street. It comes from the white foliage of an enormous tree that spreads its branches all above the city. My son, did you know that the silver tree grew from the blood of our gods' own disciples? It has been growing here for hundreds of years, right in our city. It cannot be damaged or burned, not even the clergy know why. The carriage comes to a halt by a small shop next to a city square. You run there and freeze by the stalls in excitement. The shop is packed with dolls and figurines and toys. You have never seen so many at once before. Have you chosen your present yet? Father asks. You have. You want the Holy Order set, which includes several figurines of the Empire's greatest warriors of all time. You rattle off everything you know about the Holy Order. They were the ones who aided the Emperor's own forces in seizing the province of Magra and storming our city. That's how we joined the Empire. Father nods in approval. Very well, war isn't your lot for now, but maybe these toy soldiers will teach you to think like a general. We will lead them into battle and study military strategy. Go ahead, take your present. Having said this, Father turns away to examine the books. You run to the box of toy soldiers, delirious with excitement. But there is a fancy dressed boy in your way. He is about to take your warriors for himself. He elbows you aside and reaches for the box. Anger overcomes you, and you push him from behind. Your opponent falls to the floor. The rich boy screams so loudly everybody in the shop hears it. He hit me! He hit me! A tall tower of a man looms over you. This is the boy's father. But then you feel your own father's hand on your shoulders. What happened? You press against Father, your mind more at ease now. He will protect you. Yes, you shoved the boy to the floor in front of everyone, but he tried to take your present for himself. Father turns you around to face him when he hears those words. Is this true? Did you strike the son of a nobleman? Ah, crap. Hell no, we did nothing. We did do nothing. Of course we didn't do anything. Second. You hide behind Father and deny all wrongdoing. The boy was too clumsy. Now the two fathers come face to face. Your father is calm, while he enraged nobleman pelts him with insults and reaches for his sword again and again. The insults do not stop. In the end, the nobleman challenges Father to a duel. There is only one way to protect the family honor. Father grudgingly accepts the challenge. They bring him home much later with a fresh wound in his side and another on his shoulder. You spend the entire day by his bedside doing whatever he says, overcome with a mixture of shame, guilt, and gratitude. Even though Father rarely shows it, he would readily risk everything for his family. When Father's wound heals, he brings you the belated present, a little box full of soldiers, the Holy Order made of tin. You line the warriors up in battle formation, only one thought on your mind. Your family is always by your side. Today, Father ordered the dinner table to be brought out into the yard. For the first time in months, he is home outside of the confines of his always locked study. He spent the entire day playing with Nathan and you, discussing various matters with Stephen, now an adolescent. adolescent and walking in the garden. And now at dinner, under the open sky. Your entire family gathers together, with father at the head of the table, smiling. He asks each of you about your studies. Nathan climbs up on his knee and recites a counting rhyme in a funny sing-song voice. Stephen mentions that his fencing teachers praised his accomplishments. He rises from the table together with father to show his skill in a practice duel. Next comes Gloria's turn. She stands on his chair and recites a lengthy prayer by heart. Mother showers your sister with praise. Father chuckles quietly, hiding a smile in his mustache. When your turn comes, you recite all the ranks on the Legion, from common soldier to high commander. Stephen listens to you with a skeptical look on his face. Night slowly falls, but the servants ensure that the yard is well illuminated. You don't feel cold in the dust tonight. It feels so good, so important. All of you are finally together, sitting at the same table. No fights, just smiles, no arguing, just pleasant small talk. Then a servant approaches father with a letter in his hand. He reads it in the dim light, and each line washes the smile of father's face until only a stone-cold mask remains. Mother looks at father with an unspoken question in her eyes. Gregor Bronte is coming back to Anisot. He is the head of our family, my father. Grandfather's return. Your grandfather Gregor Brandt returns to the family home from the capital. The intrusion. Ever since the news of grandfather's impending arrival, there has not been a single day when the house has not been cleaned or decorated. Your parents anxiously make sure everything is in order. They tell you to wash your face and hands after walks and scold you for leaving books on the floor. They tell Gloria she will be flogged if she is ever seen hiding in the attic. They make Stefan stay in his room. Even baby Nathan gets in trouble. Everyone is on edge. The one day grandfather arrives. It is a grim day, so hot your neck is sticky with sweat. Father, mother, Stephen, Gloria, and you, and Nathan, the entire Bronte family stands on the porch in front of the house. The house servants lined up behind you. The carriage arrives, and out steps a tall, gaunt old man with a heavy walking stick and a heavier gaze. You cringe instinctively. Good health to you, father. Children, greet your grandfather as you have been taught. Still trying to look like a real nobleman, are you? You can't fool me, Robert. I was the first of the Bronte family to be ennobled by the mantle, and I am the only one who remembers how to bear this burden properly. I live honorably by my lot. Your marriage to that low-born wench cut us off from ever becoming nobles of the sword. My progeny could have been more bearing noble blood. Father, I beg you, this is not the place. Grandfather eyes him with scorn and walks into the house, the entire family following close behind him. I have been away far too long. The entire house is a mess. This is an insult. How can you live in such a pigsty, Robert? The servants have grown far too lazy, all thanks to your commoner of a wife. I warned you, did I not? And yet you did as you saw fit. And the children, what do they know of tradition or honor? They're being raised in a virtuous family, father. And now you're speaking like a lowborn who's content to live in humility. Twins willing now that I am here, this will not happen again. I am taking your oldest son to the capital. I see you cannot provide Stefan with a proper education, so I will correct your mistake. Your brother's fate has been decided just like that. Father does not object. He orders the servants to prepare Stephen for the journey. Stephen freezes in place, glancing at grandfather and father again and again. The latter puts a hand on his shoulder, reassuringly. Grandfather's lips are a tight line, white with content. The house is examined room after room. Everything grandfather sees is showered with scorn. He scoffs at the seas on the blanket in Nathan's crib in Mother's bedroom. He mocks Gloria's knitting in her room. The door to your room is next. What is this, Robert? Tin soldiers in your younger son's room? He was born a commoner. I won't have him daydreaming of battle. Grandfather seizes the box containing the tin warriors of the holy altar. Your father stays silent. Anger and fear boil within you. This is your big present from the first day of your studies. It means so much to you. But what if he's right? What if you need to prove your right to command the toy soldiers first? Grandfather shakes his head in disapproval and shoves the toy box into the roaring fireplace. If you wait too long, they will melt into the flames. I can't do him. I can't rescue my tin soldiers. No way. Well, we are not gonna fucking cry. We're gonna show him what's what. Deaths +1. This is gonna get us killed. Well, shit. I'm gonna have to do it. There's no other solution for this. Is anybody still here who has an opinion about this? No, probably not. Let's strike him regardless. Strike him. Overwhelmed by helpless rage, you run to Grandfather and kick him in the leg with all the strength you can muster. Yet he is immovable. The next thing you see is him leaning, towering over you, menacingly, his heavy walking stick in hand. Lowborn scum, how dare you raise a hand to me? The blow hits home. The handle of the walking stick is as heavy as a rock. You are dazed, robbed of both hearing and sight. Down comes another blow. A sharp pain splits your head, then darkness. Your hand twitches against your will. Then again and again, like it is tiring to catch a flying butterfly, and then you fall into the primordial void. The void takes away a part of you, one of the lives you were given to live. It will never return. There is pain and desperation and a sense of loss. Nothing can be done now. We killed him. Well, I had to. The other options were just a no-go. It's just a shame it tells you it's a death. I mean, I don't really want to know that it's a death before. You know, it's like stupid. You fall into a pain that embraces you like a soft feather bed. You feel light, free. There are no restraints, just a warm glow that envelops you in its secure embrace. The waves carry you. The touch is soft. They delicately enshroud what was once your body. It's a feeling unlike anything you have ever experienced before. Something absolute and complete. You touch something greater, the reason behind everything, the reason for your very existence. You were sculpted from this light. It was the first thing you ever felt, a boundless and sincere unity of the diverse. Your beginning was a spark that cast this light in all directions, and now you are here again, one with the beginning of everything. The light gleaming from you resembles the light of the shining pillar. You still see it, in the north as always. The waves of light carry you to two figures. The elder is nearest. He is ready to accept you. He is quiet, wise, kind, and pure. The younger waits further back. You do not know what he is yet. The waves pause at the elder's feet. He leans over you and plants a feather-light kiss on your forehead. The kiss spreads all over you. You are filled with unparalleled delight and bliss. You exist. You are unique. There is no one else like you. They know this, and they love you. You will never be alone. You are a part of them, a part of your family, a part of this universe. The twin gods will never leave you. They watch over you constantly. The elder softly touches you as you lie spread out amongst the waves, sending you further down the torrent of light. You float on to the top of the silver tree's spreading crown. The closer you get to the silver tree, the heavier you become. The waves draw you down along its trunk, but you do not wish to part this with the warmth on the softness, with the love. You turn around. The elder is still watching you. He nods. All is as it should be. Go. Your time has not yet come. You must return to the world now. As you tumble down towards your body, you comprehend the true meaning of your lesser death and the divine love that has been revealed to you. Love exists not only in the hereafter, it is present in the entire design of the twins that is the origin of all life in this world. What is the manifestation of this love in your mortal life? Oh God. For you is so great that they allow you to change the world they have created, to influence it with your deeds. Whatever your mission is, it is proof of the Twinkle's love for you. Yeah, fuck that. No. No. What could be a stronger manifestation of love than your very existence? Your every emotion, every thought, every action exists by virtue of the love from which the twin gods created you. There we go. A sudden comprehension of the love with which the entire world is imbued illuminates your mind, but then it fades away and vanishes. You regain the sensation of your flesh. It is heavy and unwieldy. It lacks that lightness, that light. It is a burden. It is smothering you. You gasp for air. Your chest expands painfully. You feel as though your lungs are about to burst. The stagnant odor of the crypt fills them, revolting but so real. You're back. Back, bitches! Okay, Granddaddy, let's talk. I'm kidding. The intrusion. The new smell is sickly, moist smell. You feel dampness all around you. You come back to your senses in the gloom of the family crypt, lying flat on a stone slab. Your parents are on the way to the crypt right now. You hear their muffled voices. They are arguing, and against all rules, Mother will not agree with Father. Why would Sir Gregor do this? He just took one of our child's lives. Lydia, my father's is our family's head, and the boy raised a hand to him. There was nothing we could do, and Father did admit that he was too hard on him. Please, do not anger Sir Gregor. You need to accept this. It will never happen to any of our children ever again. The voices grow quiet as they lean over you. You lean on your elbows to try and get up from the stone. Mother gingerly wraps her cloak over your naked body as you shiver from the cold. My son, your first death came far too soon. I know it may be difficult to realize what happened, but know this, the twin gods are ever merciful. You are a child, and your time to leave for the hereafter has not yet come. You will be returned here by the gods twice more, but do not tempt fate again, and never ever defy those who can easily take your life. Hey, Zora. Mahina, you have angered your grandfather greatly. Do not stand in Sir Gregor's way ever again, and he will never hurt you again. For now, just stay away from him. He fucking murdered me. I will have to have a talk with him anyway. Father stays. Yes, I did, but I didn't continue yet. Father stays a step away from you, not saying a word. When Mother finishes talking, he picks you up and carries you outside. Together, your parents take you from the family crypt. On your way out of the crypt, you take a moment to touch your head. It is perfectly fine, there is no sign of the blow. Back home, Grandfather is still walking through the house examining the rooms. You can see that Stefan and Gloria are disturbed by what just happened. Nathan starts crying when he sees you. The playroom still reeks of burnt paint. There is something new about you now, a pitch-black stripe on your left arm. It looks like a strange bit of dirt at first, but it will not wash off. It will be like that forever, Mother explains. That is all she will say of it. Yeah, fuck him. I'm gonna kill you later, sucker. But yeah, I don't like the battle system of Final Fantasy IX very much. I will give it another try, but I am not impressed. It was not very engaging, to say the least. The intrusion. Wait, there is something wait, that is that. Oh god. So we can kill him like twice more before he is the true death, so we need to watch out. I just wish you didn't see it. Is there some... Did I click an option that you can actually see it? As a small child, you suffer your first death and rebirth. This event is a consequence of your previous action. Condition met. Okay. Once this is over, we're gonna play something different. But for now, I actually like the story so far. Again, why is it not voiced? This game is doom already, because people don't like reading books in games. They like to be entertained. The ant farm. Your younger brother Nathan is growing. Mother spends more time with the rest of the family now. You help her and play with your brother and take care of him when she asks. You often go to Mother's room to sit at the foot of her bed after Nathan falls asleep. She reads you the sacred books and asks you about the things you learned that day. During these moments, you see the world through her eyes as well. One day, the door of your room opens and she brings in a large box covered with a piece of cloth. It is rare for you to see her so overjoyed. She sets the box on the floor and removes the cloth. The box under the cloth is made of glass and has a wooden base. Inside, you see a layer of earth shaped into carefully crafted passages, and these passages are full of hard-working ants. Mahina, this is my gift to you, an ant farm. It is a little world in a small box. We can watch them through the glass. Look, this is a queen ant. She is the reason all these little ants were born. You sit by the box together. You hold your breath as you watch the ant colony at work. There turns out to be a method to the ants' chaotic movements. Every single one of them has a task to perform. Some of them have larger mandibles. They are the protectors of the colony. They can draw blood from your finger. Others work all around the colony, repairing the walls and cleaning any debris from the passages. There are also workers who collect food you put in a special tray, leaves, bits of meat, maggots, and bring it to the rest of the colony. You take a worker ant and put it right next to the food. However, the insect has no interest in it. It starts circling around the tray aimlessly. Mother takes the stray ant and puts it back where it belongs. Why did you do that, my son? The ants cannot do what they weren't born to do. Each of them was born for their own job. You shake your head slowly. If only the ants could do whatever you wanted them to. This is your gift now, so they belong to you. Or maybe Mother's presence is the reason they won't obey you. Mother's look was full of warmth and love. We went outside with her to catch some bugs for the ants. Nathan, Gloria, and Fathers are away right now. For the first time in a long while, it is just the two of you. And Mother takes great joy in watching over the ant farm. She shares her knowledge of the world with you. The things she tells you are true. You move closer to her and suggest going outside and finding some bugs for these ants. She agrees to this happily and holds your hand as you leave the house. Soon you are busy catching bugs and sharing your thoughts on how the ants will feed the colony with them. From time to time you laugh together, making up stories about errant flies and caterpillars overthrowing the ant kingdom. You and Mother hold hands as you return to your room. She can't help but smile. It is a faint smile, a child's smile, a smile full of sunlight. You're so happy to have seen the world through her eyes today. You and Mother hold hands as you return to your room. Oh wait, continue. Thought I pressed it. Soon, Grandfather leaves. Your elder brother Stephen goes with him. From that day on, Father's hired teachers tend to you alone. They bore you with monotonous lectures on writing, counting, and the way of life of the blessed Archnean Empire. You often distract yourself from their instructions by playing with your younger brother Nathan. Your home grows quiet without your elder brother, too quiet. Weeks later, your family receives a letter from Stephen. Grandfather has sent him to a boarding school for nobles, and he is now studying hard in preparation for his service as a nobleman. The rules here are way too strict. You can't even sneeze without the teacher's permission. But I have been studying with my peers. We are learning how to live as nobles in a society of nobles. We are also learning the art of swordplay. That's my favorite part. With Stephen now at the boarding school, Grandfather arrives once more, this time to live in your home. The only good thing is that he often has urgent business in Aetna, the capital of the empire, and has to travel there. One day you ask Mother where he lived before. In Aetna, she says, but now his place is here. Each time Grandfather returns, he gives the servants new orders. Your home is now always busy with repairs. The servants are redecorating Grandfather's chambers, including his library and sitting room. Sometimes Father tries to gently talk him out of this. Why subject the house to constant reconstruction? Grandfather's answer is always the same. This home is mine, and I will live here as befits a man of the nobility. You're drunk. Well, it seems so he's here, you know. Some days Grandfather stays home, and on those days you try your best to stay out of his sight. But there is no way you can avoid family breakfast. The food is there, but you cannot bring yourself to eat it. Mother's eyes are red and swollen. She has been crying all night again. Grandfather sits at the head of the table where nobody used to sit before. Robert, it is high time your youngest sons underwent their sacraments. Sir Bronte, please, let them live free of the lot for a while longer. They are but... Shut your mouth, Robert! That wife of yours is impertinent enough to interrupt me. If this ever happens again, she will be eating her gruel with the servants in the kitchen where she belongs. It is time you considered a real marriage, Robert, one to a woman of the proper station. Gloria drops her fork. Grandfather shoots her a scathing look. A tear rolls down Mother's cheek. Father does not look away from the plate, his hands clenched into fists. Baroness Loda is such a woman. She is a comely widow and a fine match. She is suing for her inheritance right now and could use a proper support and a husband. You can keep your lowborn Lydia around if you like. Servant, kept woman, lover, I don't care. I will not do that, Father. I am the head of this family, and the family standing took a severe blow after you married that commoner. It is unthinkable. How could you give up the memory of beautiful Amalia Elborn for this lowly woman and that bastard child of hers? But now you have a chance to set things right. Don't disappoint me. Father nods curtly, trying not to look in Mother's direction. Father, I wish to see Stefan. If I find your conduct in the Baroness's presence satisfactory enough, then you may see him. She is coming for a visit tomorrow. Be prepared. Grandfather wipes his mouth with his napkin, throws it onto his plate and leaves. Mother's lips move silently. Nobody says a word. When Father stands up and orders you and the other children back to your rooms, he needs to speak to Mother in private. Father comes to your room before bedtime. He sits on the edge of the bed and adjusts a crease on the woolen blanket. He distanced himself from you after Stefan's departure, so you're not used to such attention from him. In the candlelight, you can see his face in the dark. There's a sour expression on it. My son, Baroness Emma L. Loda will be visiting us tomorrow. Please, be polite and treat her with respect. Nathan will do as you do. I want this dinner to be as immaculate as possible. Don't let me down. On the next day, Mother starts dressing you and Nathan for the coming dinner. You see red all around her eyes. He has been crying, and for a long time it hurts just to look at her. Nathan starts whining quietly. You and Nathan are dressed in new doublets, your tousled hair brushed into shape. Gloria is told to stay in her room. Father appears wearing his best suit. Mother is in a humble brown dress, looking pale. Grandfather has an uncharacteristical contented look about him. Contented look, sorry. You hear the sound of wheels and hooves against the cobbles in the yard. Then a pair of dainty heels come clacking. The antechamber is completely quiet and still, fearing Grandfather's observant eye. The door opens. You see your guest, a beautiful, dark-haired woman in a dress of elegant deep blue. Father takes the hand of Lady L. Loda and kisses it, showering her in compliments. Grandfather's face is beaming in her presence. No one even bothers to introduce Mother. Baroness, allow me to introduce you, Robert's sons, Mahina and Nathan Brandt. Frankly, it's his eldest, Stefan, who deserves the most attention, but currently he is studying in Eterna with other young noblemen like himself. It is my hope that his younger sons will also make me proud one day. Grandfather's eyes you with a probing look. How will you act in front of the Baroness? Will you accept her here next to your mother, your father's rightful wife? Why can't I use the good options? I want to use that one. Fucking hell. Fuck that. I'll walk away with my mommy. Go away, you douches. You turn your back on the Baroness and walk to Mother. You walk upstairs to her room hand in hand. Behind your backs, stunned silence reigns in the antechamber. Soon, the two of you are alone. A burden falls from Mother's shoulders. She embraces you. Together you wait until the dinner ends and the Baroness leaves. You didn't betray me. If only you could feel how grateful I am right now. In the morning after, Father leaves for Eterna with Grandfather to visit Stephen. He returns from the capital in a quiet rage. You overhear your parents talking. Apparently Grandfather has already poisoned Stefan's mind against him, and he greeted Father with cold hostility. The name of Baroness L. Loda is never mentioned in the house again. Oh my. This taste. He fucking killed me. What do you expect? Ei, tarnished honor, eh? Oh well, oh well. The kaleidoscope. Father now checks on your studies often and nitpicks you for sitting or eating or speaking in an incorrect fashion. Once he becomes so annoyed he says that he wishes Stefan had been the one to stay home instead of you. He never expected to hear those words from your father of all people. Grandfather's trip to the capital took longer than expected. It feels lighter around the house without his presence. You allow yourself a little change of scenery. Instead of your room, you now busy yourself with reading the calculations in the sitting rooms across from the open door to the yard. Gloria has joined you today. She has already helped you progress through several complex passages in the book. Right now she seems preoccupied with a strange tube. Aren't you hurt by the way Grandpa treats you, you ask? Gloria just shrugs. Grandfather always says they should get rid of me. I'm used to it now. He hurts you a lot worse because you're closer to him. I just have to stay out of his way, and that's it. She shows you the strange tube she has been holding all day. Look, it's a kaleidoscope. I got it as a gift. Want to see inside? Excited by the idea, you close the book and peer into the tiny hole on the end of the tube. Your eye sees a multitude of intricate patterns. Each turn of the tube reveals a new web of interwoven colors. They mesmerize you. The kaleidoscope turns the fire burning in the fireplace into a cavalry made of flames. You're riding at the front of the fiery horseman, ready to face the enemy. Grandfather's face emerges from the intersecting lines and you swing the kaleidoscope like a sword, cutting it in half. Now you look at the blue sky through the window. The patterns are unending, secretive and calm and peaceful, just like Father's smile before Grandfather's invasion. The deep blue gives way to a scattering of gold, radiating gentle warmth like Mother's arms. This fleeting beauty too soon gives way to a hypnotic new pattern. Again and again you see your family in these interconnecting figures as they come together and break apart. And in the middle of this golden glow you see Gloria's green eyes gazing at you observantly. Your sister left you long ago. The books are abandoned and time slips away unchecked, but you're still busy peering into the kaleidoscope. Order emerges from the chaos before your eyes again and again, but you cannot preserve it, no matter how you try. You're caught in an inner conflict. There is so much that can be done with this kaleidoscope. Should you take it apart, or ask Gloria how it works, or keep enjoying the patterns it shows you, but you still have lessons to do today? We can't take it apart, it's her present, we can't do this. And return to the studies now, fuck that. Yeah, we're so gonna keep looking through that. You continue peering into the ever-changing patterns the kaleidoscope offers you. They become truly interesting when you point it at the shining pillar gleaming in the sky. In your mind's eye, one battle follows another, filling your ears with clanging steel and the neighing of horses. You are leading the Imperial army now. Everybody is so proud of you. Grandfather says you're better than Stephen and Father's stern voice cuts your daydream short. You lost all track of time. It is evening now. How did you get your hands on this toy, Mahina? Why aren't you studying? Give it to me. You will have double the lessons tomorrow. Fucking worth it. Grandfather's visits are no longer a cause for fear and panic in the house. He has become something you are used to, something nagging yet not unordinary, like a splinter or a stain on your trousers. The tension still remains, however. Grandfather's disdain for everyone in the house is so palpable. It almost stings for real. Your lessons with the tutor are done for today. You are walking down the stairs when you spot Gloria peeping into the sitting room through a slightly open door. You sneak up on your sister and tap her slightly on the shoulder. She is startled. Oh, it's you! Look, Grandpa's eating something. Grandfather is sitting on the sofa, flipping through a book with one hand and reaching for a glass bowl with another now and then. Inside the bowl you see a candied fruit, a sweet confectionery forbidden to the common estate like all sweet things. Yet Grandfather's face shows no pleasure as he keeps consuming the highborn treats. The clock strikes 3. Grandfather rises from his seat, puts away the bowl on a shelf and leaves for the yard. He always takes a walk in the city at this time. Gloria nudges you with her elbow and looks at the candy bowl when you look at her. The first emotion you feel is fear, but next comes curiosity, and it is stronger. Stephen used to boast that candied fruit tastes incredible, and now you have a perfect opportunity to try it. You try a candied fruit first. Sugar starts to melt as soon as you put it on your tongue. It is so sweet. You have never eaten anything as good as this. You take the whole bowl off the shelf and give it to your sister. She takes the fruit and brings it to her mouth, carefully like a rare treasure. There's a thumping on the stairs, footsteps accompanied by the knocking of a walking stick. I have no idea why, but Grandfather is back. You quickly hide behind the sofa and pull Gloria after you, but she is frozen in place with a bowl in her hands. The door opens. Grandfather's menacing figure advances on Gloria. His hand seizes her arm. You squalid, ungrateful, low-born child, how dare you bite the hand that feeds you? You and your trollop of a mother would be sleeping in a ditch if it weren't for my spineless son. The sweet and pleasant things in your life are for the noble estate, not for the likes of you. Did you forget your lot? His hand swings and hits Gloria on the cheek. She falls to the floor right next to where you are hidden. Her fingers glisten with the warm melted sugar that brought you here. Grandfather advances again, his walking stick ready, but then he sees you huddling behind the armchair. Please, don't hurt him, Sir Bronte. This is all my fault. He tried to stop me. You can already see a bruise on Gloria's cheek. This is only the beginning for her punishment. Gloria was caught red-handed, unlike you. You can still avoid your punishment. What is it then, Milksop? Did you try the sugar too, or were you trying to stop this piece of filth like she says? I want to mock him, fucking hell. Ah. Fuck, tell the truth. Lie to this piece of shit. She's done for anyway. What good does it do if I get punishment too? Whoa. You stand up and start talking. Yes, Gloria was telling the truth. You were trying to stop her. Grandfather tilts his head as he keeps you transfixed by his inhospitably bitter gaze. And why did you hide behind the armchair like a petty thief? It was all Gloria, you tell him. She told you to hide. Gloria looks at you with pain and disappointment when you say this. Grandfather nods, satisfied by your answer. He tells you to stay and watch him punish Gloria. Oh crap. What have I done? No! Oh god. For the first time in your life, you see somebody else being punished. Her skin split apart by Grandfather's walking stick, her clothes getting soaked in blood as she writhed in agony. Night comes, but Gloria's sobbing keeps you awake. You go to her bedroom and try to calm her down, but a muffled "go away" is her only reaction. She lied to Grandfather for you, so why is she angry with you now? Because you didn't stand up for her, Jesus! Mother takes Gloria to church next morning. They return late in the afternoon and Gloria begs Father on her knees for forgiveness. She will never ever take what she does not deserve by birth, she pleads. She does not look at you, not even once. Ay. Jesus. Mother takes Gloria to church. Oh, wait. Continue. The sacrament. Father and Mother have been focused on Nathan and you since early morning. Instead of breakfast, you're told to say your prayers, wash your hands and faces, and get dressed in plain white shirts. Today is the day of your sacrament. Mother, I want to go play in the yard. No playing today. You and Mahina are big boys now. It is time for you both to have your first sacrament. No one can live without a lot. I don't want a lot. Be quiet and listen. You were born commoners, so you must accept a low-born lot before the twins. When you grow up, you will get a chance to earn a noble lot. Father and Mother take you to the carriage. Nathan is hungry. He starts whining. Grandfather is the last to get in the carriage. His eyes are on you and your brother, looking for every fault. Soon the carriage is moving along the streets of Anisot, slowly and solemnly. Only one more turn and you can see a colossal white building marked by two massive pillars. For the first time in your life, you are to enter the church of the twin gods. You enter the gate and walk under the splendorous dome of the church. The church hall is divided into two halves. They are drastically different from one another. The floor on the one side is rough and chagged and covered in dried brown spots, while the floor on the other side is made of smooth marble. The commoners kneel on the checkered floor, and the well-dressed nobles and their families sit on the pews. Father and grandfather leave you to sit on one of the nobles' pews. Mother walks to the rough stone of the commoner's side and gets down on her knees. You see her wince in pain, for the low-born estate shall suffer in the house of the faith. The church acolytes surround you and lead you to the altar, where you and other children will take a sacrament this day. Before you stands a tall priest, dressed in black, with a sword in one hand and a hefty whip in the other. Nathan's whining grows louder. He dislikes this place. He is scared. You remain quiet, but your stomach rolls in uneasy anticipation. The first child to take the sacrament is a jaunty little boy from a family of nobles. The priest extends the sword before him and recites the words of his lot. From this day forth he will fight and rule and pursue the arts, his mind now forever free from the foes of suffering, for he now belongs to the noble lot. The boy proudly touches the flat of the blade with his lips. Nathan is next to receive the sacrament. He suddenly snaps out of his fearful trance and tries to break free, but the acolyte pulls him towards the altar and throws him on the checkered floor on the low-born side. The sharp edges bite into Nathan's knees as he lands, spraying drops of red around him. I don't wanna. Mahina, why do they want to whip me? What did I do? You try to break free and run to Nathan's side. You want to give him courage and protect him, but the acolyte grip on you is too firm. You feel utterly helpless. Your little brother has to face the world all by himself. The priest starts reciting the words of the lot as he swings the lash over Nathan's shoulders. From this day forth, Nathan, thou shalt endure and work and suffer. Thou shalt be ardent in thy labor and humble in obedience to thy rulers, and now cometh thy first true suffering, which thou must accept with gratitude. The lash cracks. It strikes his right shoulder. It strikes his left shoulder. The blows are so powerful that Nathan falls to the floor. The priest tells him to rise. He has received his lot. Nathan gets on his feet and drags himself towards Mother, his knees torn and bloodied, his spirit broken. It is your turn. Your feet will not move. You can barely muster enough strength to walk to the altar. You get down on your knees and feel the sharp stones below, so sharp your clothing cannot protect you. Your skin begins to burn. The acolyte forces your head down, and you feel the lash being drawn above you, ready to strike. The priest's words are for you now. This is thy sacrament. Thou shalt work and endure and suffer. Thou art about to receive thy first true suffering by the sacred lash. Dost thou accept thy lot? Oh, he's so gonna kiss the sword. You defy the rite of the sacrament and kiss the priest's sword. Hell yeah. Get in there. The whip slices through the air, about to strike, but your eyes are transfixed by the blade the priest holds in the other hand. You jump up and away. The lash misses you. You grab the blade with your hands. It cuts into them without mercy. The priest wrenches it away from your bloodied finger. You look him straight in the eye. I am Mahina of House Bronze. The priest freezes in shock. You seize this moment to pull the sword closer and kiss the smooth, cold blade. You hear cries of outrage among the churchgoers. Mother prostrates herself on the checkered floor, racked with fear. Father remains still, baffled by what you have just done, but grandfather looks at you intently as though truly seeing you for the first time. There's a semblance of respect in his gaze. You are forced back to the commoner's place by the altar. The acolyte seize you by the arms and legs and keep your face bent closely to the bloody checkered stones on the floor. The lash strikes your right shoulder, then your left. Then you are told to rise. You are a commoner. Mother takes your hand and leads you out of the church. Once you're outside, she scolds you for being insubordinate and bringing shame to your family. Nathan holds your hand as you walk, his tearful face a mixture of confusion and awe as he looks into your eyes. But you do not feel as though you have made a mistake. You did what was right for you. Aw, mine is willpower, fuck you. You have taken your first sacrament and received the commoner's lot. You challenged the sacred order and attempted to seize the noble lot. The mark left on you by the sacrament takes a long time to heal. Mother says it is a reminder of your lot, suffering and sufferance, pain and patience. Gloria shows you the mark of the lash on her shoulder one day. It will never disappear. You are a commoner now. This is the lot you were born into. Your father keeps telling you to study hard so you may yet earn a different lot and become a noble of the mantle. You recall the past with warm sadness, when Stephen still lived with you, or when he wrote to you for the time shortly after he left. Now he thinks it's beneath him to write to the commoners in his family. Mother didn't lock herself in the bedroom as often back then. This changed shortly before Nathan was born. But, most importantly, you missed the time before the terrifying figure of your grandfather was constantly looming over you. You learned the true power of the lot only after the head of family's arrival. In grandfather's eyes, no commoner deserves to be treated with kindness. Is this just him, or is this the way of the entire world? The very thought makes you queasy. You're older now, and what's more, you're an elder brother now. You have learned how to care about someone else, how to lead by example, how to teach and protect. Soon you are a small boy no longer. As the days pass, play gradually gives way to laborious study. Now your choices will decide your place in the bizarre and ruthless world of adulthood. Your childhood years are over. End of chapter 1, childhood. Important life events, birth, death, beyond the sacrament. Alright. Suffered your first death. I'm sorry. Domination 3. Perception 4. Willpower 20. Continue. I thought this was just a demo. Is this the entire game? It just downloaded a demo, right? I didn't think it would go that long. I think I need to stop. My voice is going. Let me have a drink, 1 second. It's starting to get dark, I said. Get your beer out. I thought you already had started, Jesse. Joining in with Sora, who is already drunk beyond belief. Alright, 1 second, give me a second. Seriously, can somebody tell me if this is just more than a demo, or what is this? No, wait. I can't tap out. It won't let me. There we go. Oh, not what I wanted. Are you serious? I can't tap out of this at all. Fuck. Oh well. No, go back. I like the story. I don't necessarily want to stop now, but yeah, I don't want to read all this time. And I thought it was like being over after being child. I mean, this game only has like 4 so chapters, so I'm surprised there's this much. Okay, let's see. It can't go much longer. Okay, chapter 2. You lived in this world for 8 years now. As you grow older, life grows more complex. The world of your childhood was limited to your house and family, but now that world is growing. It is also your neighborhood, the house nearby, the streets of the ancient city of Anisot. A question now looms over you, growing more important with each passing year. What will your place be in this vast outer world? Few people in the blessed Archnean Empire trouble themselves with this question. It is not within a man or woman's power to choose. Their destiny is predetermined by their birth and those who bore them. And yet, your peculiar birth has granted you a choice. Your father is a man of nobility, a worthy example in matters of duty and honor. Your mother is a commoner of lowly estate, humility and patience made flesh. And your sky is ablaze day and night with the light of the shining pillar, the beacon of Blurkey. Ready? I will come to Minecraft soon, I think. Maybe, there's still another demo to try. Your back bears the mark of the lush. Will you accept the drudgery and suffering that the lot is that is the lot of the lowborn for your entire life? Or will you follow in the footsteps of your father and your father's father and fight for the right to serve the empire as a noble of the mantle? Or will you follow the twin god's word and the spiritual guidance of man? The answer lies out there in the answer lies out there in that vast, terrifying world, but awaits you beyond the walls of your home. Stephen's disgrace. Now I want to know what Stephen did. I can't stand his sorry ass. Oh, matters of the heart. Be seen by Octavia or bond with Genie. Or defend Sophia, I see. Nathan's up a domination. I'm dishonorable. Relations screen is now available. Yeah, there's 5 chapters, so... I'm surprised it's still going. The family expects more and more of you as you grow up. The teachers and tutors hired by your father keep you on your toes all the time. Your life these days is dedicated to studying for your future, for the future of the Brandt family. Your younger brother Nathan keeps growing up too. He can hold a conversation now. You never refuse him when he comes to play, provided you have a bit of free time between your demanding lessons. It is a rainy day today. Father and mother have gone to a ball and they left Nathan in your care. You lose track of time over the books in the sitting room and Nathan goes off alone to splash in the creek. Oh shit, that's how brothers die. Soon you hear his voice beckoning you to come outside. He is on the porch, sobbing, all covered in dirt. You walk up to him as he continues to bawl. It's all that kid. He pushed me into the ditch and called me names. He said I was a fancy pants fool. He said I would call my brother. He's still there. You have to go and punish him. Nathan points at a lopsided wooden house further down the street where the poorer artisans live. You see 2 boys lingering there on the porch. They are clearly both commoners, but far from poor. One of them is almost as tall as Nathan, and he frowns in a funny way, just like him. The other looks older, almost your age, but he is more broad-shouldered and taller. His name is Thomas. You've heard it before. There, that's him! Nathan points at the younger boy and hides behind your back. Thomas grins and rolls up his sleeves to reveal strong forearms. He must have been helping his father with manual labor for quite some time. Listen up, rich boys. We don't give a damn about you or your friendship. We don't let nobody call our home a stinking rat hole. Your little brother earned his ditch dive. Maybe next time he will dress normal and stop picking fights with people who can throw him in the mud. Your hands clench into fists before you react. Nathan called them names first. No wonder they did the same. That's how it goes, but pushing your brother into a ditch is too much. Thomas stands tall and confident. He sees no threat in you. You are about to get ready for a fight when you feel a tug on your sleeve. You turn your head to see Nathan, the one who started the whole mess. Come at Thomas and give him a beating. We're gonna die again, aren't we? Spirituality. Fuck that shit, we're gonna give him a right fucking whooping. Come here, you. The bold-faced bully is taller and clearly stronger, but nobody talks to you like that. You leap at Thomas and start tearing into him. He jumps backward, surprised by your assault. It takes him a moment to compose himself, but now he is ready. His fists cover the face and he attacks you with a quick chop. It is now your turn to take a step backwards. You start trading blows, huffing and puffing with rage. The younger brothers gawk in awe at the sight. Thomas does not resort to fancy moves, dirty tricks or stupid taunts. He displays nothing but skill earned in many a street fight, and his heavy fists aim for your head. You keep dodging him again and again, trying to reach him. He takes a couple of glancing blows, but easily shakes them off. What a bruiser! You start swinging your fists with greater and greater fury. Your heart is pounding like a hammer. You see nothing but the foe in front of you. How much longer will this take? You're worn out, your breath grows wretched, and your muscles grow heavy. But there is no way you can give up now. Nathan is watching you. Desperate and out of options, you swing and punch Thomas square in the nose, then immediately let his fist smack you in the temple. The blows ring through your head like a bell and blinds you for a moment. The world swims before your eyes. You clutch at your hat to get your bearings. Thomas is standing in front of you, blood dripping from his nose. You no longer want to fight it out, and it seems your opponent would rather end it too. But you keep standing there, eyeing each other angrily. Then, suddenly, you hear an angry shout right next to you. An enraged man in a craftsman apron is shaking his fist. Thomas' face contorts in terror right away. "It's my father! Run!" The punishment for fighting is flogging, and the mere prospect of that makes you run like the wind. Thomas sprints in front of you. You dash across the rotten wooden planks of the back alley, up and over the lopsided fence, across a giant puddle in one leap, and then forward into the tall grass. You hide there and stay quiet. You hear no sounds of pursuit. You exchange glances with Thomas and start laughing. His laughter is loud and infectious, but soon he cuts it short and grows sadder. I will get flogged anyways. My dad's always quick to give me a beating. And then he will start nagging me about the lots and the prayers for days like he always does. Why do I always get myself mixed up in this stuff? But fighting is the only way to prove you're worth anything, right? The adults didn't see you fighting, you tell him. So all you have to do now is convince them you weren't. Nosebleeds happen, right? Mother gets nosebleeds all the time. Well, we could try it. Let's hope our little brothers don't tell on us. I will talk to mine. There is a scratch on your hat. Don't let them see it. Good thing I didn't hit you in the face. There. Good as new. You assure him that Nathan will never tell, and in return you make sure he behaves himself so he won't get tossed into a ditch again. With that, you shake hands with Thomas. His handshake is as strong as you would expect based on his fists. You make your way out of the tall grass. You need to leave before Thomas' father goes to your family and complains about you breaking your lot. You come to a realization on the way back. You had no idea the place where you were hiding even existed, and it wasn't too far from home. Thomas smiles in excitement when he hears this. Oh, I know lots of places like that. I'll tell you what, if we get out of this mess today, I will show you the way to the old wall. It's the perfect place to build forts. I dragged a bunch of wooden planks there. Too bad it's no fun to build all alone. My brother never helps. He just gets in the way. You emerge from the muddy back alleys, united by a secret only the two of you know. It seems you've made a friend today. Oh, our first friend. It is blizzering hot today, even for the sun-parched land of Magra. As soon as you are done with your studies, you dash outdoors and out of the stuffy room. You and Thomas roll up your shirt sleeves, but it barely helps. You would gladly go shirtless, but you only been in the company of other boys. Had you only been in the company of other boys, but there are 3 girls in the yard today. They're doing the laundry in a big wash tub, whispering and giggling. If you could, you would gladly keep watching one of them at work. She has big eyes of deep blue, her dark hair is braided, and her plain grey dress is mended and patched all over. Her name is Sophia. She throws her head back a little when she laughs. The rays of the sun are reflected in her eyes. You, Thomas, and the other boys keep telling silly stories, anything to make her laugh. You sure love telling tall tales, Mahina. Oh, I remember this one time. But then Sophia hears a voice calling her home. She nods to you and runs across the street, smiling. Her light steps carry her forward, but her eyes are looking elsewhere. And then a stone on the road catches her foot. She stumbles and falls flat into the dust. The streets start shaking from the thundering of hoofs. Riders appear on the road from around the corner. A bare coat of arms you recognize right away, a sable serpent blade upon a field of wood. It symbolizes the Melanidas dynasty, the family of your province archduke. The horses dash forward. A lost wooden toy on the road cracks under their hooves. They will not slow down. They are the nobles, and the rest must make way for them. Sophia is in the way, just now starting to get back on her feet. Her mother is crying for her desperately from behind the fence door. You freeze in terror. The riders surely see the girl. Are they going to stop, or are they going to trample her? In only a few moments, the beautiful girl will be toppled, trampled, and crushed. Oh, we're gonna die. We're gonna save her, but it's gonna be another death. If we save her. Guys, are we dying or is she dying? I mean, we have already had one death. We can only have 2 more. Guys! Oh. I don't know what to do. Ah, fuck it. She should have watched where she was walking. You stand frozen by the roadside, unable to look away as the cloud of dust covers the entire street. You feel as if a massive maddened beast whipped into merciless frenzies has just passed you by. You hear no screams, no cracking bones, nothing but the deafening din of the hooves. Once the horses are gone and the dust settles, you can finally see the road again, and the repulsive blob of blood, flesh and bone left on it. You can still see traces of Sophia in that mess, her dark hair, the remains of her dress, but it is no longer her. Sophia's earthly remains slowly dissipate and melt into the air. Her mother's eyes are filled with grief as she watches. She hunches over and slowly walks back into the house. You can still hear the riders far away down the road. None of them even bothered to look back. Your friends walk away at a loss for words. You make your way home, dazed by what you have seen. You're still dazed as you retell these events to Mother, unable to look up from the floor. After a moment of silence, she embraces you and calms you down. Poor girl, what a terrible, painful death. But you must know that it was not her true death. By the twins' mercy, we are all given enough time in this world. Should you die before your time, you will be brought back by their grace. For 3 times they will rescue you from a terrible fate, but the 4th death is true and final for all. Every loss of a life we were granted at our birth is a heavy blow to us, but the gods told us not to mourn a lesser death. Everybody will keep on living as though nothing has happened, even Sophia's parents. The family is poor and they have no family crypt like we do. When the girl's soul comes back to life, her body will be reborn in the city church with all her wounds healed. Do not mourn her, my son, but thank the twin gods for their justice. You see Sophia by her house a few days late, and she looks completely fine, without so much as a scratch. The other children tell you that her parents now forbid her to leave the yard after dying such an early first death. You call out Sophia's name, she looks at you briefly, then walks back inside. Sophia never talks to you again. Oh well. Sophia disappeared after the terrible incident with her horses. Her friends gossip that her parents sent her off to serve a rich noble dynasty. You haven't seen each other since that day, but you still remember Sophia's eyes, the sunlight shining in them. But no matter what, life goes on. You're 10 years old now. Your studies continue and you're learning more about the land you live in. Anisot is an ancient city in an imperial province by the name of Magra. All soil in Magra was turned to ash eons ago, scorched by magic during the rebellion of Duke Shah Milanidas. The magical arts are all but gone now, but the scorched earth has remained barren and infertile ever since. Since then, the entire province has lain barren, tormented by cold and scorching winds in equal measure, with few precious plants taking root on their own. All fertile land in Magra has brought elsewhere and brought here by an endless caravan of carts. To pay for food and soil, the cities of Magra became skilled in many trades, mostly mining and digging for metals and stone. Last fall there was an explosion just outside the city, followed by clouds of thick smoke. The first such incident frightened the citizens, but then explosions and smoke became an everyday occurrence. Soon everyone grew used to it. Father explains that the miners are using a new invention called gunpowder. It makes it easier for them to reach the precious stones and metals deep within the earth. Then, one day, a thunderous explosion rocks the city, and black, billowing smoke covers the houses. People are stuck in their homes, all windows tightly shut. The air is impossible to breathe. Nathan coughs all the time. Gloria and you cough only when nobody is watching. If Mother hears it, she will make you inhale those hot herbal vapors just like Nathan. It takes 2 days for the black smoke to disperse. People pour out onto the streets to meet their friends. Thomas is eager to share everything he knows about this incident with you. They took lots of burned up people to the city temple. Mom told me she was helping the healers. There are many rumors. Some claim it was the work of a beast steered from its slumber, while others say it's the surviving witches that continue to threaten the order of the Empire with their accursed powers. But as for you, you patiently wait for Father to come home, and then you will ask him about it. Father spends day and night at work at the prefecture, while Mother spends all her time in prayer. It takes a full week for Father to finally come home, and he's almost completely spent. You muster enough courage during dinner to ask him what happened outside the city. Father raises his head, his face bleak and very masked, and starts muttering his proclamation. It's almost as if he doesn't see you. It is the mine outside the city. They were trying to get to a vein of ore. There was an explosion, the mine caved in and the black smoke started flowing. Many workers died there. It was all because Count El Velasco, who owns the mine, wanted them to start mining that vein before they were ready. Some of the workers weren't even reborn. Perhaps the twins thought the final time had come. The prefecture has been inundated with the complaints from families that have lost their breadwinners, asking the judges for help. Many people have also lost their cattle to this black smoke. Count El Velasco blames gunpowder for the disaster. The prefecture and the press just repeat whatever he says, but it's plain old greed that's to blame. Noble or commoner, greed is the same. If the Count had spent a little more coin to survey the area, there wouldn't have been no explosion. Then, without warning, he grows silent again. You keep thinking about it for days. Can a human life really end so easily? A single moment of bad luck and you die, only to re-emerge from the temple or the family crypt with a new black mark on your arm, or worse, you remain where you fell, dead, never to be reborn again, ever. Stefan's arrival, oh God. During lunch, Father tells you to stay home in the evening and prepare to meet some important guests. Your elder brother Stephen will return home by dinner tonight. Joining him will be your grandfather, oh God, not him, as well as a noble friend of the family. You're excited about your brother's return. It has been years since you last saw him. How has he changed during his year away from home? You and Father await the guests anxiously. The doorbell rings. 3 people are standing outside. Grandfather is the first to come in, naturally. He has not changed a bit since his last visit, still eyeing the house with contempt, looking for any reason to demean it. Grandfather is followed by a stately young man dressed in a jacket embroidered in silver, whom you barely recognize as your brother. Stephen casts a glance at your threadbare clothes, your dirty fingernails, and smirks. The last to enter the house is a personable gentleman with a worn-out, wrinkled face. You have heard a lot about this man from father and grandfather. He is Baron Augustine Elborn, Stephen's uncle, a family friend, and the province prefect, which means that he is the head judge and those father's superior. Sir Elborn smiles lightly and offers you his hand. And this must be your younger son, Mahina, yes? I should have given it a different name. I do realize my mistake now. Sorry. You have your father's eyes, young man. My thanks. Father bows slightly to grandfather and Sir Elborn. But there is a moment of quiet when Stephen's turn comes. Father reaches out to him awkwardly, expecting an embrace. There's a question in Stephen's eyes as he looks at grandfather. The old man shakes his head almost imperceptibly. We noblemen oughtn't put our emotions on public display, father, not even after a lengthy separation. There's no embrace. Instead, Stephen nods to father curtly. He responds in kind, his face devoid of emotion. After the greeting, you proceed to the sitting room. Elborn is the first to enter. He kisses mother's hand and Gloria's too, and tussles Nathan's hair after he sees him hiding by the table. Grandfather acknowledges them with a glum nod. Greetings, Lydia Bronte. I remember you were kind to me when I was but a child. And you must be Nathan. You could barely walk when I saw you last. Your elder brother ignores Gloria completely, not even a greeting. You proceed to the dining room in a dignified manner and take your seats. The dishes smell delicious, but they merely punctuate the overwhelming tension at the table. Elborn is the only one with a friendly smile on his face. The dinner is splendid, Lydia. Did you choose the dishes yourself? You have a truly refined palate. It warms my heart to know Stephen spent his early years with you. Womanly care always does a child good, no matter the estate. Your fork freezes in the air halfway to your mouth. You expect many things from a noble out of the sort, but words of praise for a low-born woman are not one of them. You cast a glance at grandfather. He looks like he is about to choke on those words. That's right, old guy, choke. It would do my grandson more good to stay at boarding school among his equals. Please, Gregor, parenting is no less important. Nothing can replace a mother's love. I cannot deny it. It saddens me greatly that my late sister could not be there to raise Stephen. But there was still a family for him, and he was surrounded by love. How could that be bad? And besides, his father was by his side all the while. A father's example is always the best. After all, Robert earned the judge's rank the same way you did. Your grandson will surely follow in your footsteps. And who knows, perhaps even the younger men of the Brand family will contribute to the... You clumsy low-born cretin! Everybody is startled by this sudden outburst. Grandfather's face turns red. He is glaring at a young lady servant holding a pitcher over a glass. Stevens is sitting right next to her, dapping a napkin on a fresh stain on his jacket. Begone, this instant! The lady servant runs away, leaving the pitcher on the small table by the door. After a quiet moment, Elborn smiles again. It appears the servants have left us, yet dinner is far from over. Worry not, uncle. There are enough commoners at this table to keep us served with food and drink. Stephen glares at Gloria across the table. She's sitting right next to you. She shrinks down and hunches over under his gaze. Father furrows his brows. Mother covers her mouth with trembling hands. Grandfather sneers. Stephen's gaze does not move. The silence lasts far too long. Then she starts to rise from her chair. If the brown gentleman so wish it. Your hands clench into fists under the table. How can he bring himself to humiliate his own family, his own mother and sister like this? It is all grandfather's doing. Stephen could not even bring himself to embrace father without his permission. And yet they are noblemen, and they have the right to act this way. If there's any way this dinner can become even more unbearable, you do not want to see it. Oh, we should totally insult him. It's kind of, you have to choose. I'd like to help her, but I don't want to stay in that cast or whatever you say. I want to insult him more than anything. Then again, I don't really give a shit about the grandfather. We join Gloria, fuck it. I know. Insult him. I want to insult him. Let's just go with that. You grab Gloria by the arm, keep her seated. Stephen turns a puzzled gaze towards you. With a weary smile, you open your mouth. Stephen, how did you have the gall to speak without Sir Gregor's permission? Surely you wouldn't even answer Nature's call without his leave. Stephen looks at grandfather, completely flabbergasted. And then chaos. Grandfather roars with fury. Father stares you down with a disappointed look on his face. Gloria tries again and again to contain her laughter. Nathan hides under the table. Sir Elbon is unsure what to do. Stephen looks like he's about to cry. The mother takes your hand and leads you out of the dining room. You expect to be locked in your room as usual, but instead she leads you outside to an unlit shed. I'm locking you in here for the night, son. Your presence tonight would be an insult to our noble guests. It is time you learned the meaning of humility. You do your best to fall asleep inside the shed on the cold wooden floor, anything to make this rotten day end sooner. Grandfather's cries of outrage can still be heard from the house. Gloria sneaks out to the shed in the middle of the night. She calls to you from behind the wooden planks. There is gratitude in her voice. I have never thought you would defy them like that. Thank you so much for standing up to them. Grandpa got so mad he forgot all about me, so I ran away. Sir Elborn took Stephen away with him. How are you doing in there? You are not going to freeze to death, are you? It's nothing, you tell her. You will live. The important thing is that grandfather and Stephen finally left her alone. You defended your sister's honor tonight. Hot, dry wind sweeps through the city from the barren lands around it. The noble residents of Anisot prefer to remain in their chambers, while the commoners huddle in tents or in the shade of the silver tree. You are on an errand right now. Your father wrote a letter to a noble acquaintance, and you are to deliver it. Thomas, the boy down the street, is tagging along. The two of you are inseparable now. The errand is an easy one, so you decide to take this opportunity to loiter around the part of Anisot where the nobles live. So here you are, in the middle of the city square, resting on the ancient brickwork by the old fountain in the merciful shade of the gargantuan silver tree. Thomas is by your side, lazily slouching on the edge of the fountain's basin. It's a hard life for commoners like you and me. Either you break your back in a workshop day and night, hoping someone will buy your goods someday, or you become a manservant to some noble. You never get a chance to enjoy life. This is our lot, you remind him. We work and endure and suffer, but Thomas waves your words away. Yeah, I know that already. Mother keeps drilling that stuff into me. We must be humble, our strength is patience and persistence, so yeah, I say. But I want to make my fortune no matter what. So how ain't that living by my lot, I ask you? But the lots, they ain't easy. Let's take you, for example, Brant. Your father's a nobleman, but even if that didn't make you one, just look at your hands. You never had to work as hard as me, but we have the same lot, so we are supposed to suffer the same. Or look at your father, he's a judge. He toils at the prefecture day and night doing his judging, and he's a noble. I've never seen an Archnean work as hard as he does. You shrug. The Archneans are a different race. The books say they were born to rule over humans. They are never commoners, always nobles of the sword by birth. They founded the empire after subduing all the human kingdoms on the continent. Humans will never be their equals. Archneans are always better, smarter, stronger, and their skin is a noble shade of blue. If the books are to be believed, of course. You have never seen one yourself. Your idle chatter suddenly interrupted by a rugged-looking guardsman dressed in black and green. He chases you away from the fountain. Common rabble like you have no place here. You hear the clattering of hooves and wheels against the cobblestone and see a flags bearing a coat of arms, a sable serpent on the field of wood. It makes you squirm. It's the Archduke's coat of arms. The Milanidas dynasty. The carriage door opens, revealing a young lady in a luxurious dress. You cannot look away from her. Those dainty shoulders suggested but not revealed by the cut of her dress, her black hair cascading over them, her stately slim silhouette, her pouty lips and prim nose, and those eyes, dark like the night sky, the way she moves fluidly, gracefully. And most incredibly of all, her skin glows on azure blue. She's a masterpiece given life. She is an Archnean. Clear the way for me. The Milanidas guardsmen work quickly to clear the way for the fountain for the Archnean lady. The searing sun dances on her skin in bizarre patterns. With one elegant motion, she reveals a handkerchief, then leans over the basin and wipes her head and neck with its cold water. Well, I'll be, that's Octavia Milanidas, our Archduke's own daughter. The Archnean turns away and proceeds gracefully back to her carriage. You see something slip out of her hand and fall onto the cobblestones right next to you. A handkerchief. It is right there by your feet. Intricate craftsmanship, expensive woven fabric, delicately decorated with emerald filigree. Your heart skips a beat. Will you dare draw the beautiful Archnean's attention in order to return her lost possession, or would you rather not attempt to cross the chasm between you and her? Stash the trophy? Why does it tell you the outcome? I don't want to know the outcome. That affects my choice. But we're gonna give her the handkerchief back. Of course, we have to. It takes a moment to overcome your fear. You follow the young lady, Milanidas, and call out to her in a nervous voice. She turns around, her beautiful face marred by a puzzled expression. You extend the dropped handkerchief towards her. Lady Octavia's face concords into a sneer. She signs to the guardsman indifferently. A guardsman's gauntlet-clad hand slaps you in the face. It rings your head like a heavy bell. Your nose cracks obediently under his staggering force. The rest of you follow suit, and you fall prone. You can discern the guardsman's voice through the painful din in your ears. Should I take the handkerchief back, lady? After a commoner's hand have befouled it, let him wipe himself with it for all I care. The carriage drives away. Thomas runs up to you and drags you back to the fountain. Your head is still ringing from the blow. The fateful handkerchief is still crumpled in your hand. Oh well. The carriage drives away. Thomas runs up to you and drags you back to the fountain. Your head is still ringing from the blow. The fateful handkerchief is... Oh, wait, we have that. You experience your first romantic feelings. Oh well. You're 12 years old now. I need to stop soon. I can't talk anymore. That was like almost 2.5 hours of constant reading. You overhear an important conversation. It is a spring night and Mother has just sent everyone to bed. You walk past Father's study and hear voices coming from beyond the door. Grandfather is yelling and Father is replying quietly. The elder Brandmen are fighting, arguing about the place of the commoners in the city. You sneak outside to avoid Mother's attention and hide next to the open window to the study. Perhaps they will mention you too. That low-life idiot had the gall to pay me a visit and beg me for some service. He had the insolence to ask me outright. He thought I was going to support his claim for the chairman's seat on the lesser quorum. How dare he? Father, please listen. Mayor Egmont may be lowborn, but he carries a lot of clout in Magra. He owns 5 iron mines. A friend like him could be quite useful. Should he become the chairman of the lesser quorum? I don't give a damn who this Egmont is, Robert. What he is, however, a lowborn. His lot is humility and obedience. The likes of him can never rule anything. They are nothing but a flock of sheep that needs a firm, noble hand to guide them. I wasted so many years trying to quash that quorum decree, but that accursed Cornelius Tempest did everything in his power to make the emperor sign that pathetic screed. And now even lowlifes can wield power. True power, Robert. Just the right to discuss the size of Archduke tax, nothing more. That is only the beginning. What's next? Are they going to arm the lowlifes now, make them into judges? If the Empire rejects the foundations and the lots, the entire edifice will crumble. Bah, who am I telling this to? It is already crumbling, and you, my son and heir, are the harbinger of its destruction. Father, I am begging you, I do not wish to marry a 3rd time. Lydia is a good wife and a dutiful mother to my children. If you would only allow her to... I will allow them nothing. Neither Egmont nor that freeloading wench of yours. What do you want me to next? Live by the laws of the lowborn? I can already see where this is going, and I'd rather run my own sword through my gut than live in a country where nobles and lowlifes share the same rights. My only dream is to see the name of Brand in the Blue Book, but that dream will never come true. They will never call me Venerable L. Brante, and it's all because of this marriage of yours. My only hope now is to hear Stephen addressed in such a manner one day. Thank the twins I didn't let you ruin the boy. He is about to grow up a true nobleman. His children will bear the name of L. Brante. You have 2 more grandsons. Those spineless milksops from the common lot. They are incapable of anything. The best your middle son could do is sneak into the Imperial College and get ennobled by the mantle, although I have great doubts about even that. As for downtrodden Nathan, I hold out no hope for him whatsoever. You hear grandfather's heavy footsteps, the thudding of his crane, and the slamming of the door. It's time to sneak back home before you are discovered. You started studying at the school of Sir Tibor and began to master the sciences. A storm of expectations. Finally, the day comes when the teachers stop coming to the house. But before you can breathe a sigh of relief and put away the books, Father asks you to come to his study. You have grown, my son. It is time for you to continue your education away from home. I have chosen a deserving school for you, Sir Tibor's School for the children of noblemen and well-off commoners. Naturally, it is not a boarding school for nobles, so you will study there during the day and come home in the evening. You share the news with your best friend Thomas. Sir Tibor's School, eh? Yeah, I gotta ask my parents to send me there too as soon as they get the coin together. Father says his workshop has toiled day and night for years to save up for my education. The school is based in an ancient estate of Archnean design. The classrooms are tall and spacious, with massive benches. The sounds of scraping quills and lectures on history and imperial law and theology echo under the vaulted ceilings. The rules are strict, the lessons tiring. Restless Thomas keeps getting distracted, and several times he gets his hands slapped with a stick for it. Every teacher demands flawless mastery of their subject. Every day Father asks about your studies. You've already told him twice how Makra joined the Empire and how the nobles' court of honor is different from the commoners' civil court in the city prefecture. But Father keeps pressuring you to work even harder. When it's time to go to bed, Mother will not let you go to sleep until you recite a newly learned prayer for her. And when it is time to go to school, you promise her every day that you will behave with great humility and steer clear of insolent behavior of any kind, for you still live by the commoner's lot, and that lot is hard work and suffering. That poor kid is suffering all right. Your first month in school draws to a close, and the teachers announce that there will be exams at the end of the month to determine the best and the worst students in each subject. Father insists that you devote all your spare time to studying law and history if you wish to follow his footsteps. But when you speak to Mother every day, you start considering theology. You still remember the revelations and divine visions that came to you in your earliest years. You have only one more day until the exam. You have locked yourself away in your room. It is already getting late. Your desk is covered with handwritten notes surrounded by leather-bound books. Just looking at them makes you queasy, but you have to read through all of them again, at least for one of your subjects. There's a nagging thought on your mind. Thomas ended up in big trouble the other day. He got in a fight with several boys who lived next street. They heard about your wooden fortress and got into an outrage by the fortification built by commoners. They swore to dismantle it tonight. Thomas swore he would defend the fortress until the end. Perhaps you should abandon the book to rescue the friend in need. And then you hear your little brother Nathan knocking at the door. He stands there shyly, not saying a word. He often does that, standing still and staying speechless until either you speak first or he runs away. But this time, he actually says something. The door is locked. Are you okay? Is there anything I can do to help? Head is spinning. This is the last evening before the school exam. If you fail, your family will be very disappointed. You have to refresh your memory on law or theology, either one or the other. But Thomas and your fort are about to be stormed. Why today of all days? You grind your teeth in rage at the thought. Nathan is by the door, trying not to bother you. He wants to help you the only way he can, for reasons known only to him. Will you accept his help? You push Nathan out of the room. He cannot possibly help you prepare for the exam. Soon your eyes start to hurt from all the legal terms and chronologies and titles of imperial edicts. You repeat everything, every single line of it, until your head hurts and your vision begins to blur. When Father walks in, he chuckles in approval. You fall asleep right there amidst the books. The morning comes. You barely have the time to wake up before you're walking to the menacing edifice of the school. Edifice. Time for law. All the students sit still, glued to their benches in terror. The teacher's voice singles you out. If a commoner insults a nobleman's honor, how ought he to be dealt with according to imperial law? Bring the commoner to the prefecture, where the judge will sentence him to corporal punishment. And what if a noble takes a commoner's life by negligence or whim? The noble is fined by the provincial authorities. Surprising even yourself, you give the correct answers to these questions and the many more that follow. The next subject is the history of the blessed Achaean Empire. You masterfully recount the history of even every province as they merged with the empire from Monia to Magra, and then you recite the names of every tempest who has ruled the empire. You conquer every question the teacher asks you without confusing a single date. You get the highest grade in law and history and an average grade in theology. You relay the teacher's praise to Father over dinner. He smiles, pleased with you. Well done, my son. I can see how hard you have been working. Keep at it, and you will be among the Empire's greatest servants. I am proud of you. Right, you guys, I think this is where I stop with this anyway. I don't know how much longer this is going, but my voice is crackling and I don't need a break from reading all this time. So, I'm taking a break and I am gonna get going. Bye, Jessie, you're just in time for me to stop this. Right, let's end this. How do I end this? Is it save? It's better, saves. If you want to quit the menu, the game will be saved automatically. You will be able to continue quit.